Hey, what's up, people? It's your boy D, the after show, but later. And I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. The audio in this episode is not great. I didn't realize that I had my microphone off until it was way too late. The audio that was captured was from the computer. So if you still feel like listening, you know what to do. Peace.
On the road to the riches, cause it's all about the paper. Now buckle up your seats and prepare for the journey. Let the music ease your soul, grab a spliff and start burning. Relax with us and take a trip to the heavens. And come and spend a day in the 757.
What up, everybody? It's the after show, but later. It's your boys D and El Cucuy. Again, right here, almost 100 episodes as this duo right here.
As
the best
tandem,
duo.
bro.
The best duo in the industry, and if you guys don't know about
history
us,
of Earth.
What'd you say?
We're the best duo in the history of Earth, bro.
The history of Earth. You know what? And I think who comes in a close second is a couple of dudes that we listen to.
Well, I'll give them a tie. You know what? I'll give them a tie. I think they're better at what they do, but we're a pretty fucking awesome duo. I'm just gonna say that.
I think we're cool. The people that love us really dig us and ride with us, and you know, I dig it. I'm glad that we do what we do because we do. If you guys don't know, we're not making millions off of this, so we do it for you guys that are checking it out. We do it for an outlet for us to kind of
made some jerky,
kick it. Yeah. Oh yeah, and we still got to edit that.
Shout out Jeff Jerky, and hey, Jeff Jerky, Debbie Calhoun, that video's coming. I promise. The player's been busy.
But here we are, man. It was a fun week. We got some big news from Covino and Rich.
Yes,
we heard
did.
that they are going to be on Fox Sports Monday through Friday from now on.
That's dope, dude.
What is it going to be? 2 to 4 Pacific time, 5 to 7 Eastern time, Monday through Friday. So if you don't know Covino and Rich, you don't even have to be on. You don't have to tune your little
dial. You don't know, take your thumb out your butt.
You don't have to tune your little dial to Fox Sports Radio or 106.5 FM or whatever. All you got to do is either go to the Fox Sports Radio website, go to iHeartRadio on the app, one of the apps, you know. So go to the website, go to the app. You can listen to Covino and Rich for free every day, Monday through Friday. Tonight, they actually had their send-off. So they had their final Sunday night.
I didn't know they were done off Sundays.
Yeah, they're done off of Sundays tonight.
Oh, well, good for them, bro.
They gave their final farewell on Sunday, so they gave their salute. So Covino and Rich, if you listen to them on Sundays, that's
dope, bro. I'll be honest, I think that's dope because you know what, and I'm not just saying this because of Covino and Rich.
Yeah.
Although that, you know, obviously them going to the channel, I think makes it stronger. But I started navigating away from ESPN, bro, in like 15, 16 when Skip got his own show. Colin Cowherd got his own show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Gottlieb, he's all right, but Gottlieb is there. You know, those are all ex-ESPN guys that when I used to travel, I used to listen to them religiously. You know, like, you know how people, you know, Christians go on Sunday to church?
Yeah.
Boy, if I was traveling, I either had it downloaded or I was listening live to, you know, the Cowherd, Doug Gottlieb show, the, you know, Skip Bayless now that's on there. And so with them to be in a lineup with those guys, like if you're just listening to Fox Sports and you can get like some Covino Rich with it, bro, that's a good day.
Yeah, no, 100%. I dig it. I've kind of fallen off of ESPN as well because there are so many different kind of outlets, and to sit there and just put on ESPN and get your updates and your highlights and shit like that, it is a little older school mentality because think about it. If like what day, I forget what day it was. Maybe it was Monday Night Football last week, or it was one of these games, right? I couldn't catch it, but I was looking at the updates on like the app, and then I was on Twitter looking at updates, and somebody made this Odell Beckham Jr. one-handed catch, right? Type of catch, and reached out with one hand and pulled it in, and in a matter of seconds, you know, the NFL had that little clip. So it's kind of like, just follow the NFL on their Twitter or whatever, and you're getting those clip updates of the dopest plays right away. So if you can't watch it, I mean, that's just as good as watching it, or how ESPN would, you know, gather their stuff at the end of the night, and they still do, but, they have the ESPN top 10 or whatever. Now you're watching that stuff in real time. So I dig it, man. I do.
I mean, and if you want to really get down and dirty about it and be honest, like, who do they got, bro? The two people that I really like on ESPN that they got left, I mean, if you got some more, I'm missing something, please chime in.
Mm.
It's Scott Van Pelt and Stephen A. I'm not fucking tuning in for Mad Dog Russo. I didn't listen to his ass when I had all these years and on satellite. Why am I going to watch his dumb ass on ESPN? You know what I mean?
Who's the dude the white bald guy that looks like he's sick? He looks like
Cody Kornheiser.
He looks like the Wish version of Jeff Bezos.
And don't get me wrong, bro. I can watch PTI. I really can watch PTI, but I'm not recording it or no shit like that. Like I'd much rather watch Stephen A. and or Scott Van Pelt. But other than that, who do they got, bro? Everyone went to Fox.
You know what? Actually, no. I have a question. Because it was something that Rich said. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna give a shout out real quick right off the bat to Rich Davis because
really,
I know
what's the occasion, bro?
I know he don't listen to us on the regular.
Feliz cumpleaños.
But actually, he mentioned something. I had shared our video on Facebook and to the Carl's page.
RD said something?
Yeah, and Rich had commented, and I thought he commented on the one that I shared.
Right.
From our last episode, but he actually commented it on our Facebook after show page. Okay. So he's following the page and
sweet. Thank you, Rich.
He made a comment that was I'll get into I'm Key right now because Rich made a comment that was like something we said in the first like minute and a half, you know? So he made a comment about like all the vatos like John Ritter's and he put an S on it because he's like the vatos always put an S on John Ritter.
Ritter's?
And so I appreciated that because obviously it was just like a little like 10-15 second little watch that he did. And then but the fact that he actually made an effort and gave a
you know what? Shout out Rich Davis.
So he gave a hoot to leave a comment and
there was no Sarah involved, bro.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool of him. And it's funny though because I was actually talking to I'm Key over the weekend or the end of last week. And he was saying how he listens to the entire show and he'll usually let like a show or two bank, you know, and then he'll listen to them when he's working. And so what he said is that he's like, when I comment, he's like, I like to comment for something that was like real deep in the episode that, you know, that he's like, because I want you guys to know. He's like that I'm listening to the entire episode.
Shout out that dude, bro. So much respect for that.
Oh, actually, I have a whole list of notes on I'm Key from he was streaming on Twitch, so I'll link his little Twitch in the description over here, the show notes. But
yeah, go follow I'm Key.
I'm Key was asking me some stuff. We're going back and forth and kind of BSing while he was streaming live on Twitch. And let me see. I gave him the origin story of how me and you actually came together and doing the show. And for those of you that don't know, I did the first like 40 some odd shows with my homie Johnny. And then when he decided not to do it anymore, I was like, all right, cool. So I was kind of
deeper, bro. Get deeper to when I commented on something and you guys were like, who the fuck is this guy?
I was like, who's Gavzilla? And I remember we were actually at my old apartment sitting at the table on one of the episodes, and there might have even been a clip that we recorded live, quote unquote, you know. But yeah, we were like Gavzilla because
I heard it, fucker. Hey, and shout out to everyone doing a podcast because good and bad, like if you're really paying attention, you might be on the podcast one day, and then 100 episodes later, you're telling this story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it was cool because I remember I seen El Kukui with his. I didn't know. I've known the name El Kukui forever because he's been listening way longer than I had. So I had known the name, but I didn't connect the dude on Twitter or Instagram that was Gavzilla. I was like, wait, but he looks kind of Mexican. I'm like, is it Gavzilla? I'm like,
and they'll explain that every motherfucker that grew up in a neighborhood. Tell me if I'm wrong. Every motherfucker that grew up in a neighborhood, you got about 4 or 5 different names.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so I had seen the picture. You had your hat, you had your sunglasses. I saw the earrings, and I was like, so we're over here. We're talking our smack, going back and forth, and then when Johnny decided not to do it, I started scrounging for people to like, all right, cool. You know, I did an episode with Soupy. Shout out to Soupy because he said he wants to come on and do another show with us. So I did a show with Soupy, Nate Silverman, Joey in Texas, or no, not Joey. Joey made an appearance with me and Johnny, but just a whole bunch of random people. Just kind of El Cucuy was one. I had sent out the bat signal, and I was like, hey, just trying to do
And I
some
seen that
shows.
motherfucker, bro. I saw it.
I was like, let me know if you want to come on to the show.
Hey, it peeked through the smog of Fresno.
So one of the people that actually hit me up was El Cucuy. And so we did our show, no big thing, whatever.
Number 49. It was episode 49.
So it was like, hey, nice to meet you, whatever. That was cool. No thing, right? I didn't think nothing of it. Did a couple more episodes with some other people. And Carl Reinhardt was another one I did a show with around that time. And so, I was kind of still like, am I going to do this every week as a solo person where I'm going to, try and find people that are listeners? Maybe we could jump on. And then, there's the knight in shining armor lifted up his little shield. And he was Steve? Actually, baby Steven shining
baby
armor.
Baby Steven, the fucking hog off champ, bro.
And so the
hog off champ to the rescue.
He told me, he was like, hey, because he had known me and Johnny were doing the show. Actually, they gave us an opportunity. They gave us an opportunity to talk about the show before we were even in a show, and we had an idea. So shout out to both Cavino and Rich and Spot. But yes, Cavino hit me up and he was like, hey, I listened to the show with you and El Cucuy. I dig your guys' chemistry. And so he was like, you should think about doing the show with this dude. So I was like,
thank you, Cavino. Much love, bro.
So I was like, hey, El Cucuy, would you consider doing more than just this one-off show that we had? Maybe doing a couple of episodes together. And you were like, hell yeah. You're like, I'm down. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, 100 episodes later, here we are as the After Show Belater with El Cucuy and your boy D. So
damn,
that was the origin story. I didn't get to give I Am Key the full-on explanation like I did right now, but I was talking to him and there was, let me see. Oh, he had mentioned it's funny when we talk about like white people shit. He thought that was funny, but he did.
White people are funny, bro. White people are goofy and funny.
Well, the episode that he brought up was when we were talking about Jordan getting her dog Theo, and the family was sending her like care packages and shit. Like,
bro,
they were basically throwing like a baby shower for the dog.
Here's a $150 gift card to Chewy.
Yeah. So, or Al Cucuy, what's his name? He hit me up and he was, when we were, kind of BSing, and he was like, hey, he's like, when you're recording, he's like, and your daughter walks in, he's like, does that ever bother you? And I was like, yeah, I was like, it does. It's really frustrating because like, me and my girl kind of work opposite schedules. So, if she's with my daughter or my daughter's in school or whatever, when I get home from work, that's usually when my girl's leaving. And so if it's just me and my daughter,
right,
I'm not going to tell her, don't you dare bother me if I'm recording. Cause I'm like, come on now, what's more important, my show or my kid,
No, absolutely.
So it is frustrating. And like, I'll tell her, hey, try and only interrupt if it's like something, you really need, or
if you're dying.
Yeah. And, but she'll still pop up and for her, in her opinion or her mind,
right,
I'll be like, hey, like, what do you need? And then she'll be like, hey, can I grab a Chewy bar? Or, or
I thought it was just mac and cheese and nuggets, bro. She graduated?
She graduated. She's having Chewy bars now.
Sweet.
So, no, so she'll ask me, she'll be like, hey, can I have a snack or whatever? or whatever. So the little things like that, it is frustrating sometimes because we'll be in our flow, and she'll like either walk in or, but it's frustrating, but it is what it is right now. So I dig it. I don't,
you're a pop-up, bro.
I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. So yeah. So
and you gotta have it.
Yeah. So there we are. That's how it is. So if you guys ever have watched the episodes, and if you're only listening, I may not always address it, but there's some times when we're talking and then she'll walk in, and as you're saying, your little 2 cents, I'm over here trying to rustle with her like, hey, all right, cool. All right, I'll be out. We're almost done. Bro. Whatever.
Bro, it's not 2 cents. It's more like $1.75.
Yeah, exactly. But but speaking of $1.75, I want to hear your $1.75 on this week. Was there anything that stood out to you?
There was, bro, there was really a lot of shit that stood out to me. And I think one of the main things that did stand out to me was the Jeffrey Dahmer talk in the series, and it being, was it romanticizing it? And I don't know. Have you watched it? What do you think about that whole conversation?
I don't. I haven't watched it.
Is it too soon for the documentary?
I don't think it's too soon. It has been like 30 years or something, right? It's not, I mean, for us, well, I don't want to say we remember 30 years because I was 4, but I have a vague memory of 30 years ago, but you know, with that kind of stuff,
I got a good memory.
It's not like a documentary that they're romanticizing the whole situation. It's a docu-series that's kind of like it's somewhat, based on real events, but they had to have some creative liberty, right?
But
So,
all of that, every time you do something like that, though, you have to. You know what I mean?
yeah, and so I can see the families being upset. I really can, but this is the way I look at it, is that the people making this documentary or quote unquote docu-series where it's maybe based on quote unquote real events,
Right.
they have a job too. So think about like a comedian, a stand-up comedian, who has a joke about cancer or mental Asperger's or some kind of right.
Oh,
And
you fucking Asperger, you.
well, think about it. After the show, somebody comes up to the comedian and they're like, "Hey, I really didn't like that joke on that you had on Asperger's." Or even let's make it not even that crazy. Say they had a joke on Honda Civics and they were like, "Oh, what a piece of shit car, Honda Civics, ha ha ha." Somebody comes up to you after the show and they're like, "Hey, I have a Honda Civic. It's a good car. I don't know what you're talking about. You shouldn't have said that."
You say, man,
So,
fuck
so
you.
now what is the comedian supposed to do? Edit everything and not so they're not going to be able to talk about anything.
No,
So when
no.
I look at it like it, and I know it's a
It's the cancel
stretch,
culture, bro.
but think about yes, the people that are involved in this story, in this Jeffrey Dahmer story, and I'm sure people are going to come at me because it is a stretch because there's only a handful of people that this happened to at the expense of Jeffrey Dahmer. But if the people making the film are having to think about everybody and all their situations and what if the family's not upset, but what if the people that knew the families are upset, and what if now you're cutting into what they're doing as a filmmaker.
Right,
So
right.
so that's
I
my
think
opinion.
I think this, bro. I think that everyone with this cancel culture and and all these different social media platforms, more now than ever in history, people have a voice. And they have a platform where many of people will hear what they got to say, even if it's their own shitty opinion. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is like you're always going to offend somebody. And I think it's kind of like the guy said too. I mean, even with 9/11, 3,000 people died. It wasn't just as many as Dahmer killed. Obviously, if 3,000 people died or whatnot, you're going to offend more people even with that. And someone's always going to get offended. And I don't think you try to offend. I mean, that's not my job. I don't tell those stories. But if you're going to do it, you just try to do it in the best way possible. But you can't satisfy everybody all the time. And with all these different social media platforms, someone's always going to have something to say, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It
No,
just is what it is.
100%. So um I don't know, and I forget what Spot's opinion was, but I remember he was really mad at Cavino and Rich because I think Cavino and Rich were saying how they probably shouldn't have done it, and Spot kind of had kind of the same take I had, where he was saying that, well, if you're saying that, I mean, how is it cool that they had the Ted Bundy story, and then Cavino and Rich were saying, well, that the Jeffrey Dahmer is more recent or whatever. But I think it all kind of falls into unless it happened in the
Bro,
last like 3 to 5 years, then I think it's free game.
bro, in the history books, they lie to us and they don't tell us that the early American settlers fucking slaughtered the Indians and they act like they were all cool and chummy. So if they're gonna lie to us in school, what's the big deal about telling the truth on a fucking on a biography? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, no, I feel you. But yeah, no, one thing that I want to get into real quick that I've always found odd ever since I started listening to the show over 10 years ago is that they've always had the same opinion, so you know they're not lying, right?
No.
But when it comes to deodorant as a kid, they I don't know if it's maybe because I have an older brother to where it was never a big deal. It was like
Okay.
I started throwing on deodorant in like fourth or fifth grade, just kind of even really before I needed it because I wanted to feel older, right? My
Okay.
brother was a junior or senior in high school at the time, or sophomore, junior. He was in high school. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna throw on deodorant because I want to be like the older kids, right? Well, Cavino and
Not
Rick,
me.
they talked about how they had to like sneak it from their parents and they had to
Sneak
like,
deodorant?
yeah, they actually said that they would sneak it because
What?
they were embarrassed that they needed it.
Oh, bro, I was wrestling and I just remember wrestling and you're in them little fucking silhouettes and shit wrestling. And I smelled my own pits and I was like, oh no, we can't be doing all that. And I was like, Dad, I need some right guard, bro. And I think that right guard was cracking. And we went to the damn store and got some right guard and problem solved.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is that to me it was and it's weird because and my I think Cavino said that his mom was like, no, like not my baby Steven, like he's not growing up or whatever.
Oh
And
shit.
Rich was like saying how
Richie.
he was embarrassed to go to Greg and be like, Dad, I'm becoming a man, you know? And for me, it was never even like that because my parents were so um very, very like everything sexual or whatever, anything like that is very like off limits. It's very like it reminds me of a George Lopez joke where he was like in a Mexican family, and it's only my family that I could relate to this because I know plenty of families that aren't like this.
Okay.
But in my family, George Lopez was like, when you ask your family, hey, what about sex? They go, what about it, cochino? Like, you
Yeah.
know, like you're dirty. Like, what do you mean? And that's kind of how it was like with me growing up. Anything like it was always like, he got hit in the privates, or it was very, very,
Hey, but there's another side of that, bro, because I grew up with some Pisces, bro. They try to stab everything that walked.
no, same. And it's funny because I have some really good friends who their family is open and dirty, and they've always,
Yeah.
ever since I knew them, I'd
Just
go to
depend
their,
it depends on the family of the people.
and so that was how even though I grew up very like,
And I'm not
you know,
knocking either, I promise.
and even though I grew up like very, um,
'Cause I'm a cochino.
same, and I got there eventually on my own, but
Right.
to me, deodorant and kind of like puberty and stuff
Bro, is your
wasn't.
hand bisexual?
I heard that. Where did I hear that
Question of the
recently?
day, bro. Is your hand bisexual?
Oh, I heard that on TikTok. I think I saw a video where they were talking about that.
Mine
But
is.
but mine isn't bisexual because mine doesn't enjoy it. Mine's kind of forced to do the deed. It's kind of
Okay.
like he it's not like he's like, oh man, because listen, my hand's not wanting to go around and just grab random wieners.
No, it doesn't have to
But
grab random wieners.
so
I took
like
it as it just grabs a wiener. Yours, right? It should just grab your wiener. It shouldn't grab any, bro. If it grabs other wieners, you're like that needle goes more towards gay.
yeah, well, I feel like any
I mean,
that's the thing though, is that you're not it's like if I feel like if your hand really was bisexual, it'd be like, oh, there's a wiener, and then go try to
no,
grab
bro.
it.
I think what they meant is it likes your wiener and it likes chicks.
Yeah, you're right.
That's how I took the thing was is it likes your wiener and it likes chicks, so it's bisexual. How
But
did you take it?
well, I'm looking at it
I'm
like
confused, bro. You're confusing
my
me right now.
hand really doesn't have a choice. I get to tell my hand what to do. Like hand, lift up, hand, drop down. And if my hand wants to
And
grab left or right or whatever, or grab this microphone, but I don't want it to, I make my hand do what my hand wants to do. Right? My hand doesn't get to choose. Right now, I feel like, yeah, that's where I'm at in it. So,
all right.
but back to the deodorant thing, I never thought it was like weird or even as like quote unquote sheltered as like my family was with that kind of stuff. I
Right.
never thought deodorant was one of those things. It wasn't like, hey, I need to put deodorant on my wiener when it's hard. Like to me that would be kind of like, oh damn, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go to my parents about that, you know?
No.
But if it's just, hey, I got to put it because I'm going to smell if I don't put it on. To me, that was just kind of like, oh, I'm like one of the cool kids. I'm one of the big kids now. You know, I get to do what the big kids do. So,
You know, I got a buddy, bro, B Riles, and I'll just leave it at that.
yeah.
And that fucker, remember that green deodorant that was always hella expensive? It was more expensive than everything else. It was called like Mitchum or something. Do you remember that one?
No.
Well, anyways, he always bought that fucking green expensive one. And that bastard would rub it on his belly, bro.
Really?
I swear to you.
Was
He'd
he a
fucking
big
do
boy?
it. He would, not super big. He's probably like 235, 240 at the time,
When you
6
guys
foot.
were kids?
We were adults, bro. We were like
Oh,
20. We were like 20. This fucker
oh,
walk
I
around
thought
with his shirt off and he put deodorant on like this and put deodorant and then he would rub his fucking belly.
I thought you meant like when you guys first started putting on deodorant. I'm like,
Nah, we were grown. He would do that shit.
he was 6 foot and 240,
You ever rub deodorant on your belly, bro?
I never can say that I have.
No, me neither.
No, not even under the boobies.
No?
No, I'm a big boy, but I've never. I don't know. I feel like that. I don't know. Maybe some people have funk that bad that they need to.
Hey, if
But
you need it, do it. But if you don't need it,
exactly,
you're just being weird.
I'd rather you do that, and if you need it, then not do it if you need it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
No, yeah, but deodorant. I don't know how that was ever. I don't know how deodorant was ever like a weird thing to people, but I guess it is. And Cavino and Rich both said that they were that way when it came to deodorant. So I never
I wonder if that's
under,
East Coast, West Coast thing. You know what I mean? Because out here, you're always like, I remember even as a little boy, bro, like 8, 9 years old, like you want to wear the cologne that your dad's wearing. I remember my pops when I was 5, bro. I was like 5 years old. He bought me this little fake razor kit so I can go in the mirror and shave when he was shaving, but mine didn't really shave because it wasn't a razor. Like, I don't know. I just,
mm,
at a young age and shit, I think I picked up on that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you're watching the adults and the women like, ooh, you smell good. You know what I mean? Like, I want to smell good. I want those compliments. I mean, 7 or 8, I was already into little girl. I was into girls, bro, already. And so I wanted the same thing from you know what I'm saying? When's the first time, bro? Speaking of, so I was 3rd grade. When's the first time you crushed on a girl? How old were you?
kindergarten.
Kindergarten?
I remember. Yeah, I still remember
I
with
was
the
3rd grade, bro. Shout out Melissa Dixon. 3rd grade, Marimonte Mustangs, dude. I thought she was cuter than shit, boy.
yeah. No, I remember. I still remember. And yeah, I had a crush on this girl, and it's funny because I talked to one of my best friends, and he said that I think she was kind of like the cute kid of like kindergarten, 1st grade, you know, type of thing. Because I feel like I talked to my buddy, and he had told me, yeah, I used to dig her too. And then it's crazy because like we grew up, and actually she's actually as
I
an
got a
adult.
question, bro.
What's
Were
up?
you too young for the sweatpant boner?
Yeah, definitely. Like I didn't know what I just knew I liked her, and I just wanted, I don't know what I wanted to do with her, but I remember seeing her in kindergarten with her French braid, like dang, she just got her hair all did, you know, looking all cute. And
Yeah.
as a kindergartner, you know, and I mean, even as an adult, I mean, I'm still in contact with her, and
Oh shit.
she's actually, I mean, she's good looking. She's not like drop dead gorgeous, but she's a good looking adult. And so I'm like,
You said a good looking adult.
well, I
Is
could
that
see,
where we're at now, bro? In life, we just call them good looking adults.
well, I mean, excuse me. Well, I had to,
What the fuck?
it was just kind of like, oh, I look at it now, I'm like, oh, well, I could see why I dug her as a kid, you know? I mean, she's good
Yeah.
looking now as we're grown.
Right.
So, but no, yeah, for me, it was kindergarten was my first like crush, and I was just like,
And it's
yeah,
innocent too, huh? Because what's crazy is like in 3rd grade, like I didn't had no weird thoughts. Obviously, you're a little boy, you know what I mean? I just thought she was cute and I liked her. And it was like, it was weird. I didn't even think about kissing or none of that shit really in 3rd grade, but I was just like, damn, she's cute and I like
Doug.
her.
Well, I got to tell you this story that is, it reminded me because you said like at that age, it's super innocent, right?
Yeah.
You want to know? Okay, I got 2 stories. So one, all right, or 2 things I'm going to say. One thing is I remember my dreams like nobody I've ever met in my life.
Not
And
me.
I even
You don't
remember,
smoke a lot of weed, do you?
no,
All right.
Well,
Sorry.
even remember dreams that I've had, and
Smoke an
like
eighth a day and report to me in 60 days and tell me how many dreams you fucking remember.
I had I even remember dreams that I've had. I remember a recurring dream that I had as a kid, and it was around the time Scary Movie came out, right?
Right.
And or not Scary Movie, Scream, right? I remember there was a dream I had where I was in a movie theater, and I must have been in like third or fourth grade when I had this dream. And we're watching a movie, and then some dude walks in with a scream mask, and a knife, like trying to kill people. And I remember hiding under my seat. And
Really?
yeah, I remember these dreams, like kind of like Barnando. You know how Barnando says like, "Hey, bro," he's like, "I hooked up with Jennifer Love Hewitt," and then Cavito's like, Cavito's like, "No, you didn't." And he's like, "In my mind, I did." And it's funny because like for me, these dreams, I remember them like actual events. I remember them
Really?
like I remember events in my life. And so let me get to the point about when you said things were so innocent. This girl I was crushing on in like kindergarten. Now, fast forward a couple of years, I'm in second grade, right? And she's in my class and I dig her, right?
Right.
So I have this dream about her. And I still remember, dog, you want to hear two things. One, that I was a fat kid, and one, that I was innocent, is that I had a dream that we were in class, dog, and I can still, as I'm talking to you, picture the dream.
Really?
I was sitting at my desk, right? We were because we at this time
In
we
a
didn't have,
peachy folder?
well,
Number two pencil?
we didn't have desks in this class. It was like a table with like four chairs, right? Well,
But bro, did you have a peachy and a number two pencil?
I don't know what a peachy is.
You don't know what a fucking peachy folder is, bro?
No, it was a folder that was peach or what?
So I gotta fucking pinch you real quick and make sure that you're real.
What's the
What are you talking about, dude?
I remember like a trapper keeper. I don't know what a
well,
peach
you okay? Do you have a trapper keeper?
yeah, in my dream probably.
Okay.
Actually, I
what
remember
about a JanSport?
Like third, fourth grade. No, I remember I didn't get a JanSport till like high school probably.
All right.
But third, fourth grade, I remember my trapper keepers. But here I am in second grade, sitting at the table. And in my dream, she pulls out a can of SpaghettiOs, right?
Was it that alphabet ones, or was it just little circles and shit?
It was the SpaghettiOs, the circles, right? So
all right.
In my dream,
were there meatballs in it?
No, these were just SpaghettiOs, not with meatballs.
Sorry. All right.
So she pulls out her can, and I guess she wants to eat them in class or something, right? But on my mom, I had this dream. I swear to God, I had this dream.
Shout out SpaghettiOs.
So then, Doug, I don't know if it was in my backpack or I just happened to be holding one, but I had a can opener. So I was able to like save the day because she wanted to eat these SpaghettiOs, Doug, but she couldn't get into them, right? She couldn't get into the can.
All right.
There I was with a can of SpaghettiOs, Doug, and I just remember opening them for her.
Okay.
I don't remember if it was like
how'd you warm them up?
I don't remember. I must have woken up after that because I don't remember anything after the fact that,
Did you pee the bed?
Open them. No.
Oh, okay.
But there I was with my can opener. Like I was like it's so stupid. But I remember being like, I could save the day here, Like now she's gonna want me forever.
I have a can opener.
We've gone too far. Like I feel
it's the key to your heart.
It's so funny, but yeah, man, that's how innocent things were back in the day. I was over here trying to open a can of SpaghettiOs for her, so
you're trying to open a can to her heart, bro. Is what you're trying to do.
And that's exactly, I think, what it was. But oh man, I don't even know how we got on that. But
I don't either.
I think subconsciously, I probably really wanted to tell you that story.
Hey, I got something though. Fucking, did you hear Rich in regards to Terry Silver taking over the world? Asked the question if you should bring a random foreigner over here.
No,
he said something about random foreigner and what would they think if they came over here? I think and watched that show. And my thing was like in cancel culture 2022, bro. Is it okay to call people random foreigners?
You know, I see both perspectives because in reality, they are a random foreigner, right? They're
But
from
even the word foreigner, shouldn't it be better to say where they're from?
So what should the band Foreigner do?
I don't know. Fuck them.
But no, I don't know. To me,
If we get rid of the word, they should make some NFTs.
well, the reason why, I mean, you could, because they could be from anywhere. If I'm over here stuttering now. If he would have said a random person from, Guam or
Right.
whatever, but I think he's just
How
saying
about a
it
person from? Why does it got to be random?
because you don't know who they are. They could just be anybody.
A person is the same thing.
Uh,
Hey, this person's from Michigan. We
are
don't
you
have to be like this
are you
random
trying
person's from
are you
Michigan.
are you trying to pull a melody on us?
I'm
Did you
just
hear?
asking, bro.
Did you
I
hear
don't
when
know.
Melody tried to tell Cavino that clout was something that like kids are saying?
Bro, I'm just gonna call her Mellow G because that was a G move. She pulled a G move, bro. She's
Cavino
smarter. Hey, bro, she's smarter than her age. She pulled a G move. That's what she did.
Cavino saying that something about somebody having clout, and she's like, "Dad,
I know. I
you're
heard it.
you're trying to sound cool or whatever." So words are still words. A random person is exactly that, a random person. Random isn't a bad word. Are we
Well, I
gonna?
thought we got rid of the word random. We just call it rando.
I mean, when it comes to news, definitely. Which I have a couple of things for that. Um, but no, but I don't. You know what? Definitely, if he was on Fox Sports on his normal show, I think it's something that could be controversial. However, with them being behind a paywall, where
Those
they're
side
kind of
poofs are controversial,
where
bro.
they're kind of they're behind the paywall, they're with people that have been listening, a majority of them for 5+ years,
All
right?
right, man, you right. I agree.
You don't have to agree. I mean, that we're not the Agrino and Rich show. Um, that
It
was a stretch. That was a stretch.
worked though. That was good.
Doug, there was I was listening to Chris D'Elia's podcast and I could not stop laughing because there's some lady
Was he talking
who
about young girls?
no, there's this lady that is like running for Congress or something, right? And she made like this hip hop quote unquote song and she rhymes awesome. She rhymes awesome with Constitution. And just him going off on her doing that, he's like,
What do you call it?
um,
Constitution?
yeah, well, that's the thing is that he was saying, he was like, oh, she's gonna, when she says awesome, and then he's like, does she say Constitution? Or the way he said it is so
Constitutum.
funny. But then I was listening to another dude, Shane Gillis. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
Okay, well, he's a comedian and he's funny as hell. But on his podcast this past week, he was talking about it's so stupid. But I feel like if you get chiefed a little bit, you'll dig it because
Oh, I'm
he
cheap to fuck a
he
lot of it right
he
now,
was
bro.
he was talking about how
Encourage me some more, bro.
he was talking about when his mom would drop him off at like preschool, and
Okay.
he was like, dude, he was like, I would just think about my mom all day. He's like, and I was just like waiting for her to come and pick me up. He's like, and then I would sit there and I'd be like, dude, my mom freaking rules. It's so stupid. And
Fuck.
it's so funny because like it reminds me like going back to what you were saying, like as a kid, things are so innocent, like
Yes, they
you're
are.
just like, and then he was like, I remember he's like, there was some random lady wiping my ass because he was in like preschool. He's like, and he was just thinking, like, I just can't wait for my mom to come pick me up. My mom rules.
That's fucking great.
And it's just so funny because I think I love Shane Gillis because he's my age as well. And the things he talks about, like he said, within the last couple of years, um, on WrestleMania, I guess Stone Cold Steve Austin came back, right? And he said when he was watching it and he heard that glass break, before his music, he said that he's like, I almost started crying because he started thinking about like fifth grade and shit. I
Right,
was
right.
like, oh my goodness, it's so stupid. But I'm like, there's a hint of truth to it. It's like the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary, you know?
Right.
It's like there's some facts there, but some of it is creative, liberty. But
Absolutely. Got to make it interesting.
anyway, Doug,
But
what else happened? Let
I
me
got
know.
a challenge to Rich Davis.
What's up?
Since you say he's shows a little interest in our show now, I got a good challenge for him. You know, Rich. So who is it? Maria Menounos and Spot. Don't they make cupcakes? Right? I can't hear you no more.
My bad. I hit mute. My bad.
But so Maria Menounos and Spot make cupcakes, right?
Yeah,
And you say Rich made a couple comments here, so he might be showing interest in our show.
maybe.
Bro, I got some nano. Why don't Kukui and Rich make gummies?
That you know what? I'm not even lying. That could be a real business opportunity
Well,
to
I don't
where
even know about business. I mean, I know I listened to this show, I listened to the replay yesterday, and he's like, oh, Sarah had me stop and get gummies.
yeah, I
Right.
heard that
And
too.
so I'm like, well, fuck, bro, we can meet up or you can come here or I can go there or whatever you want. I'll take some nano and maybe we even you can put it on the behind the velvet rope or not. I don't care if you do or you don't, whatever. But we can make gummies, bro. Like whether you fucking put it on there, you don't. Like I'll bring some nano. We'll get some flavored fucking gelatins and shit. The little fucking gummy sugar, and we can make gummies, bro.
Gummy sugar, as long as it's not that booger sugar, you know.
No, no booger sugar. I don't fuck with none of that. He can do what he wants. I'm not into it. But he can do what he wants. But I mean, I know after you make the gummies, you can like roll them in this confection sugar or whatever it is, and it gets a little, like a
Do you have
Sour
to
Patch
put them
Kid.
in? Do you have to put the what is it, confection sugar?
I don't know, bro. To be honest with you, I've never rolled them in sugar. I'm kind of new at it myself. I'm not going to bullshit you. I don't want to act like I'm Willy Wonka and go over there. We make a bunch of bunk shit. But I got this one recipe, and you just mix flavored gelatin with unflavored gelatin. You put the amount of whatever in there, however strong you want them to be, and boom, you just make them and you pour them like silicon little molds, and
If you so, I have a question. If you make them with confection
I think that's
sugar,
the wrong word. Don't quote me on that. I think
you got
that's
to put
powdered
them.
sugar. It's like the sugar that's I forgot what it's. You have to Google it, bro. To be honest with you, but
Do you have to put
it
them in a confectional oven?
you got jokes, don't you, bro?
That was the worst joke I ever made in my life, but I had to
That's
get it
like your
out.
favorite word, muncha.
Muncha.
Munch on these nuts.
Okay.
Shut up,
Uh,
Cavino.
all right, yeah, but
But I mean, but I don't know what that sugar's called to be honest. But it's what you could Google it. But it's whatever on the outside of Sour Patch Kids. Or I don't even do that. I just make gummies and fucking vacuum seal the ones so they don't fucking get old. Make your little pouch of the ones you're gonna eat every night. You know what I mean? You can make them as strong as you want.
I have a question when it comes to recently Aaron Judge hit this crazy, Babe Ruth tying home run. If you were the person that caught this ball, what would you have done with it?
Sold the
Would you
fuck out of it.
you wouldn't have given it back to him like that
Fuck
kid did?
no.
Same,
The
same.
fuck do I look like, bro? You could probably sell that ball for a couple of meal tickets. I'd offer it to him first.
Yeah, I think
I would. I'd go to the market and I would see like what they thought. They got the little estimate. It could fetch this, right? And get
yeah.
that number. And I would offer him that number and maybe even less than that number if he wanted to buy it. You know what I mean? I'd give him the first dibs. I really would. But that dude makes like 30, 40 million a year any fucking how. Then I'm not going to give him a free investment. I mean, at that point, he just invested in himself for whatever reason, because I promise to God, he ever falls on hard times, he's going to hawk that motherfucker too.
You know what though? I have a question.
Think about
So
that, what I just said, bro. Think about what I just said. How many athletes fall on hard times and end up selling their championship ring, trophy, whatever they got? That shit's real, right? So why should the person in the stands give it away for free? If you give it to, think how janky that would be, right? You give Aaron Judge the ball back. You're the good kid. You make Sports Center, right? They're like, oh, so kind. He gave him the ball back, and you
uh,
don't get nothing out of it. And then 20 years later, he's fucking addicted to crack cocaine, and that motherfucker shows up on the Pawn Stars.
it reminded
Think
me
how
of
dumb you'd be, bro.
it reminded me of something right now when you said trophy. Is that could you imagine if you made a social media where you have to be positive on the platform, say it's like Twitter, but it's a new thing called like Jitter. And so you're on Jitter.
Derek Jeter or what?
You're on Derek Jitter. And if you want to come and you want to be a punk to people, in order for you to post your comment to them, you gotta pay
scratch.
You gotta pay a troll fee. A
little
troll
scratch.
You gotta pay a troll.
Oh shit.
A troll fee. If you want to be a troll, you gotta pay like 50 cents or a dollar
That's not
or
a
whatever.
bad idea, bro. It's like selling downloads.
Troll fee, dog. Troll fees.
Trollfeed.com.
Troll fee. Hey, you know what?
For the right price, you can talk the most shit about. You can talk the worst shit about anybody. And the worst shit you're gonna talk, you got to pay more.
I'm gonna put a patent on this idea, and I'm gonna sell it to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. So you know what? If they're,
I'm
you know what,
mine a feet finder.
People want to go and be like, "Hey, those are some ugly toes." Hey, you can say that about El Cuculi's feet, but first, what you got to do is you got to pay your troll fee.
Right.
Bam. $1 million idea. You know what I'm gonna have to do one day? I'm gonna have to go through all these episodes and just compile all of our $1 million ideas.
Bro, we gotta make a movie. We should just take like we should get the listeners to tell us our best moments and just make a fucking story, bro.
I think we should.
That'd be great.
But you know what?
At least a YouTube short story.
Going back to Aaron Judge, though, I would definitely do the same. I would have set myself up for life, and even if I couldn't, say you can get like 500 G's for it, right?
Right.
Well, okay, cool. At least you're able to invest it or do this or that or whatever. But maybe it could be, life-changing money.
Bro, I just saw a story and I forgot who the player was. I really do. I forgot. I'm sure if I looked, I could find it out. But they signed a contract that paid their brother and like their in-law or like manager or somebody, bro, for like 10 or 15 years. These motherfuckers are getting, it was like 320 a year and like 175. Mm-hmm. And this dude ain't been playing sports for like 5 years, but the relatives are still getting that money. And it was saying, look out for the people around you. Like, that's what I want, right?
That would be dope. Can you imagine? Doc, can you imagine writing that into your contract? Like, hey, I'm LeBron James, right?
Right.
I'm going to get $500 bajillion a year. But hey, you know what? I never knew my real dad, but he's trying to make it back into my life. He's getting off of drugs or whatever. Hey, let's write it into the contract where we give him, 30 G's a year.
100 thou wow for the next 30 years.
Whatever. Something that's going to get him off the streets,
Because think about that, bro. 100 thou wow for the next 30 years is how much?
Is 130,000.
That'd be 1.2.
I don't know.
Times 30.
I just don't know how many shanks that's going to be,
That'd be 1.2 times 30. So really you're probably looking about 35 million bucks. And if you're signing a $500 million contract, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could do that, dude. Get them 100 racks for the next 30 years because they'll be able to play with the money and make interest off it anyways during those 30 years.
Really. Yeah, for real. But definitely, I think that's something that's super awesome. I think that's cool.
Fuck yeah, man. But hey, you watch Cobra Kai yet or no?
Nuh-uh.
These fuckers are Terry Silver, bro. They're all about the bullshit, aren't they?
You know what? Real quick, before you get into that, if you want to check out Covino and Rich on Patreon, on their plus episodes, they have different tiers, right? So if you have the tier 2 plus,
you get on the eye or
if you get the tier 2 plus, this month they actually put interviews with Ralph Macchio, Martin Cove, and they did a town hall when they were still on Sirius XM. So you can listen to all of that on the plus feature this month of Covino and Rich on Patreon. So go ahead and check that out. Go ahead.
Actually, you know what, bro? I got to get on something different. I know you're not a Raider fan, but obviously with my Max Crosby jersey and me talking about it all the time, I am. And I
thought that was a Bing Crosby jersey.
No, it's Max, bro. Max Crosby.
Okay, his uncle.
Bing. If it was Bing, I would have had his little hat on.
Okay.
But and I'm diehard, bro. I've been a diehard Raider fan since 1986. And with that being said, in 2022 now, they've been in 3 different cities. Los Angeles, the Bay Area, which Oakland, California, the city of dope.
And
now Vegas, Las Vegas, Nevada, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got a song I want to play here in a minute. that's going to kind of highlight that. Number one, I want to, did they kind of predict the future? Because this song was recorded in '01, came out in '02. But before I do that, my question to you is, which of those three cities do you honestly feel represents the Raiders the most? Because I just went to Vegas and I want to hear what you got to say, but I just went to my first game at the Allegiant Stadium and it was dope. Four
And you got to
stories.
see Nelly perform.
I saw Nelly perform. Santana played the national anthem on his guitar.
Oh, did
Dope.
he really?
Oh, bro, Santana did that shit. He's part of the Raider Nation, bro. Santana, he's in the nation, bro. And so that shit was dope. And it really was dope. And it was cool. They had these little stations where there was about 8 to 10 of them around the stadium where you could buy a $3 hot dog, a $3 pretzel, a $3 cheap ass soda, $3 peanuts. So they had like a value meal, which was cool. And if you bought the souvenir soda cup, they had like little fountain areas around the stadium where you could fill your shit up without having to give it to nobody. You could just walk up and fill up your soda. So it was dope. The experience there was dope. And they closed down like part of Las Vegas Boulevard. So they had actual, not vatos selling bacon wrap fucking hot dogs on the side of the road and fucking Modelo's for fucking $4, but they actually had like real the Coliseum people or the stadium people.
Dog, I'm starving right now.
Well, because they shut this shit down. They had motherfuckers like on the street selling tall cans of Modelo's for like $14, which, you know, it's $14 is a lot for a tall can. But bro, it was a tall can of Modelo and you could get it like with a half a mile to walk still. And it was dope. So that was dope. So with that being said, though, I can get into some of my fucking Oakland stories later if needed. But which team do you, or which city, should I say, do you feel represents the Raiders the most?
All right. So we have Oakland, we have LA, we have Oakland, we have Las Vegas, and then LA is the other one?
Yep, Los Angeles.
I would say Oakland to me.
And you know what? I'm going to take you on that, but let me add this. Now that I'm out here in Lompoc, which is central, you know, coast, but it's closer to Southern California than it is to Northern California. Everyone out here is a Raider fan, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So when they were in LA, like when the Chargers and the Raiders play at the Chargers Stadium, there's a lot of people in Los Angeles that love them too. There's a lot, bro. There's a lot. Southern California loves the Raiders. They just do.
No, and that's the thing is that I think, I don't know. To me, I want to say Oakland because I'm thinking Oakland to me represents like the ghetto, right? Like the Raiders, the to me the freaking the struggle. That's what it represents to me. Las Vegas is to me the least likely of the three. The reason why I think LA could definitely be a runner for that question that you're asking is because I'm thinking LA off the bat. I'm thinking freaking Hollywood movie stars, right? Millions of dollars. But I forget that when you're at the Staples Center, you're on Figueroa Street and you make a left. Now you're in the hood. I forget about the hood parts of LA.
Well, what about Friday and Crenshaw, Boys in the Hood?
You know, that's where, so I'm thinking now.
You're getting jacked.
That makes perfect sense. So I would say Oakland. I would say just maybe if this was a football game, it would be like
they bring out the place card. They bring out the card, index card.
I think, you know, yeah, definitely. I felt like they were going to do that last weekend on some of the games, but that's how close it would be. But I think Oakland would have the edge just a little bit. Oakland would get the first down.
Yes,
I think. You know,
LA second and one.
I think no, it would be LA would be like
second and one,
fourth and inches.
Okay,
and then LA would be or Las Vegas would just not even be in the running.
So I'm, you know what, like I said, as a Raider fan since 1986, die hard, bro. Like I love my Warriors. I really do love my Warriors. And obviously with the 4 championships since 2015, it's easy for me to say, you know, I can say they're my favorite or this and that and the other. But again, if you bust out the index card, I still think the Raiders are even in my heart above the Warriors, bro. Like I love the Warriors. That's my squad. I really do. But with that same analogy, I think the Raiders are still an index card ahead. And the fact that they break my heart every year, it fucking sucks. Yeah. But with that being said, I've never been to a game in LA. But like I said, since I live kind of down here now, the fan base is thick. So I don't want to take nothing from them. And they're, you go down to LA, there's some gangster ass shit that goes down there. Motherfuckers die. You know what I mean? They start posting shit on Snapchat and Instagram, and we see them in the news in a couple of days. So you don't want to fuck with LA, and you really don't want to fuck with most Raider fans because they might fucking snatch your ass up and fuck your ass up. You know what I mean? So much love to Los Angeles and the whole Southern California. But I think I'm with you. I think it's Oakland and it's the Bay. And because, in Vegas, they're playing Mac Dre over the loudspeaker, and that is straight Bay. You know what I mean? Like, they give it flavor and the black hole. And so I think Oakland gives them the culture and they give them the flavor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And that's besides this last weekend when I went to the game and we lost in the fourth quarters to fucking Kyler Murray and some bullshit. Shout out your Arizona Cardinals.
That was dope. That was yeah, it's always kind of like, because I'm not a huge football fan. I dig it. Like on the weekends, I like to watch it. I like to bet. That is like my favorite part of it. But I'm not a diehard Cardinals fan. So for me, when I saw that, I was like, oh, good for the Cardinals. But damn, when I watched
Bad for Kukui.
I thought of Kukui. I thought of Joey in Texas. I thought of all my Raider homies that I know. I'm like, oh, dang, that must have really hurt. But
well, the thing about the Raiders, and so that's the thing. So I love my Warriors. I really do. But even when they were in Oakland, bro, like going to a Raider game, even though the Warriors game was in the same fucking parking lot, like it was 200 steps, 300 steps apart. You know what I mean? Like it was same parking lot, bro. Coliseum over here, fucking, the arena over here. And, but they were night and day.
Mm-hmm.
It was different culture that was in. The rowdies showed up to the Raider games. Yeah, there were some rowdies at some Warrior games. There were some hood motherfuckers there. I'm not gonna lie to you and say there wasn't. But there's also a lot of callers and business suits and like middle class America people there. And middle class America people are at the Raider game too. But most of the time, even if they're middle class, you can't tell because they're acting up and they're in Raider mode, bro. Like it's just go time. And I don't know, there's an energy and a vibe, but so Oakland, I would say, is number one. I think you're right on that. I think LA's number two. And Vegas was dope, but it felt more like a Warrior game. It really did.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what, though? And the thing is that I feel like it's kind of like, Covino and Rich this week, we're talking about network TV, kind of being done and stuff. Well, I'll equate this to the show Roseanne. So I feel like it was always dope, right? They're in LA. That's dope. They're in Oakland. That's dope. When they come to Las Vegas now and they have their dope ass stadium, that is, I mean, it's
badass, bro.
From what I've just seen on TV and just driving by it,
we deserve it.
It looks state of the art. But I feel like on the TV show Roseanne at the end of the series, before it came back for this recent one, but in the 90s, at the end of the series, they win the lottery. And that kind of like takes away from like, no, the whole point of this show was that they were some trailer trash ass white people.
I'm glad I didn't have to say that, but you're accurate as fuck.
But it was like the struggle. That was their whole point, right? Is that they're was that a little too harsh?
The bologna sandwich fucking team.
But and now they won the lottery. And so you get there and you're walking in there like, it's like going over to Roseanne's house. Like you're a kid, right? And you're playing with DJ. I was about DJ's age when I was young. And so you go play with DJ.
Weird, bro.
And one day you're over there with their freaking, ugly little couch with that little throw they had over it. And then, you come a month later and you're expecting to walk into this house, but you walk into this mansion and you're like, whoa.
Wait.
I'm not used to this, like, and to me, it kind of like, it throws off the vibe a little bit. So
it does.
I'm sure you really enjoyed it. And you were talking about the perks and the $3 hot dog and the $3 pretzel and the $3 prostitutes and everything that they had to offer there. And then, but it's just a little different.
It was. No, it wasn't a little different. I mean, it was dope. And I'll say this, with that being said, we deserve that fucking stadium. It's, in my opinion, shitty that it had to be in Vegas, but we deserve it. It's dope. It was worth the wait. It absolutely was worth the wait. They've been promising us a new stadium since 1986, bro. LA was promising stadiums. Going back to Oakland, they were promising stadiums. Like, as the fans, we deserve it. The motherfucker was dope, and we deserve it.
Yeah,
But
no,
the vibe and the energy was not the same.
see though, and I feel like it would have been even doper, and yes, that's a word now, to put that, what is it, like the Allegiant Stadium or what's it called?
Bro,
Something.
no one was selling knockoff t-shirts. And before I even get off the freeway, bro, there weren't vendors. Dude, in Oakland, no bullshit, right? You're not even off the off-ramp, bro. You haven't even hit stop. And motherfuckers got fucking little handheld carts and shit, and they're walking up and down selling you $10 t-shirts and hats and beanies.
The same thing with you walk out of the Staples Center, right? I remember me and my girl went to a Lakers game, got a hoodie. It was like $80, right? It said Lakers. That's all. I mean, it's a dope hoodie, but it's just a standard ass hoodie.
Right.
$80, right? 80 shanks, as they say in the hood, right?
Hey, fucker. That's great. I like it.
There's 80
Yes,
shanks.
they do.
And literally, we walked out of the Staples Center, and there's these dudes there, right, just chasing you down. Hey, $15 for $15 hoodie. You like the hoodie?
Yeah.
Hoodie, $15. And then you're like, no, I'm good, man. $10 for the hoodie. $10. And you're like,
bro, as the game is over and you're walking to your car, and you know, think about it. Like, a lot of people don't think about this, but a lot of those merchandise was printed for that day. So there's like that day information on the shirts, right? It's like Lakers versus fucking Warriors or fucking whatever. So a lot of it, like, if they don't sell it, it's done.
Yeah,
it gets cheaper. It gets cheaper the closer you get to your car.
It really does, Doug. I remember I've had so many knockoff, because I have a gang of family in LA.
Right.
So I've had so many knockoff t-shirts, Doug, where there's Snoop smoking a blunt.
Yeah.
In a Lakers jersey, like on the t-shirt. And then, in the back of it, it'll say like March 29th, 2017. And, whatever, Snoop Dogg. And you're like you said, the closer, the further away you get from Staples Center, the lower the price, they'll be like $3. Come on.
Yeah.
I'll give you $5. Just take it.
Take me down a joint and you can have this beanie.
And no, it's for real. But it definitely, yeah, man, I'm sure it would have been a different vibe. So,
well, no one was selling t-shirts. I didn't see nobody selling none of that bullshit.
That to me sounds like crazy.
I did not. Hey, bro, check it out. So when you park in the Raiders, right? So when it was in Oakland, here's the Coliseum, the 880's right here, and then the overflow is across the 880. And when you parked on the overflow, you had to walk across the big ass fucking overpass over the freeway to get to the Coliseum. Motherfuckers was selling beer and fucking hot dogs on the overpass.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't even fucking in there, bro. You can get hot dogs, beanies, fucking, you can buy jerseys and shit. You're looking over the freeway, bro. Bay Area traffic going back and forth and shit. You're eating a fucking bacon wrap fucking hot dog, putting on a new t-shirt.
Man, that's you know what, Doug? I admire that hustle of the people doing that.
That's the Bay.
That's some hustle right there, right? That's some like on the overpass to be setting up a hot dog stand.
Bro, they got bottled water and beer and fucking canned soda. Like, they got everything. They're just posted. And then it even gets better because when the game ends, they inch their ass to the exit. So like before, like right when you get out of the parking lot where it's like the exit, they're selling that shit right there. And it's cool because you've been drinking all day and shit. What's not better than a fucking bacon wrapped hot dog with fucking serrano peppers and onions?
Man, that sounds so dope. But you know what though? It's funny though, because when we talk about LA, this will be the last point I'm making. But I remember two of the ghettoest places I've ever been, as far as like the ghettoest 7-Eleven I ever been to my whole life was down the street from the Dodger Stadium. The ghettoest Carl's Jr. I've ever been to in my life is across the street from the Staples Center. Literally across the street, and like you turn like a block and there's a Carl's Jr. That thing is hood. Straight hood, like you got tweakers walking around talking to themselves, scratching their elbows, and it's so crazy. But so I definitely I can see the difference in how you enjoyed the experience in Vegas, but it
was great.
A completely different experience though,
Well, and you know what's crazy is remember when I worked in East Oakland, and I actually stayed at the fucking La Quinta behind the old Coliseum off of Eads right there in Oakland. It was Same shit, like you said, you turn the wrong corner, you're fucked. Dude, you turn about 8 wrong corners, you're in deep East Oakland, Walnut, Plymouth, Cherry, fucking 98th, International. Like you're in the hood, and that's where I worked. And like, bro, you would go to Brookfield Liquor, and I believe it was on like Eads and 98th, and there would be like 9 brothers outside, and you had to weave your way through the crowd just to get in the fucking store, and everybody watching to see how you spent your money, and you got to weave your ass way back to the car, and like it was some wild ass shit. But with that being said, I got a question for you. Have you ever heard the song that the Loonies put out? Shout out Yuck and fucking Numbskull in 2002. They recorded in '01, but they put this song out about the Raiders. And at the time, they were the Oakland Raiders, so the song is titled Oakland Raiders. But if you listen to the chorus line, it's almost like they predicted the future and the past.
You know what? I can't say that I have. If I'm being completely honest, before today I hadn't. If that's what you want me to, if that's where we're going with this, but no. Shout out to Yuck Mouth though. The last thing I heard from Yuck was Stallions, and that shit was dirty as fuck. But
oh yeah, it was.
But
the DVD.
But let me hear the what you're talking about.
So I'm gonna cut in part of the verse. We're basically, they're talking about in the chorus line, but here we go.
Police, Mac off the foothill, East 14th to Brady Park, Brookfield, Plymouth, and Walnut Street. From the building seminary to the rolling 20. Forget them celebrities like Big Feet and Little D. You see the East Bay Crackers, it's the home of the Panthers. When niggas like tons of crack and feds catching on camera. Those witness slammer, it's the home of Show and Hammer. Boss ballers moved to Atlanta, niggas stole our grammar. That's my brokers, that's my nephew, that's my weeples, that's my nizzle. Please believe me, go for cheesy off the hizzle, do your thistle. When my niggas riding dope, fiend riddles, rock presidentials, like crack, pap, pistols, every track I sizzle.
Cause I'm a Raider, Oakland Raider, from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Cause I'm.
Did he just say from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas? But in '02? That's all their homes as of today.
To Las Vegas.
Bro, he in 2002.
Hey, forget about The Simpsons, Doug.
Right. Everyone's always talking about The Simpsons predicting the future.
Time travelers, right?
I think Yuck predicted the future. I'm just calling it right now. Shout out Yuck. We worked.
Is Yuckmouth still alive?
Oh, Yuckmouth is thriving, bro.
We need to get Yuckmouth on the show. We'll have our producer work on getting him over here.
I think he's like a rep for Royal Blunts. I know he's got his own strain called the Yuckmouth Culado. And that shit's fire, bro. I got a bag of that Culado when I was at a dispensary in LA one time. And that motherfucker is heat. But yeah, he got his own strain. He's doing his thing. Yuck's out there. But the question is, did he predict the future with this shit?
I mean, you know what? This is something that I actually talked to my buddy Luis about recently, and talking about putting it into the universe, because I think that he really did. I think he threw that out there. And you know what? People think we're only hood, but we'll be here. One day we'll be in Vegas. So he threw that out there. He put it out into the universe, and here we are now.
You know what? And let me just finish the fucking chorus line.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you.
What's that?
Make a TikTok about this and throw this in. Tag Yuckmouth in it.
No, just tag him on the show, bro.
Oh yeah, well I'll make the TikTok. But yeah, definitely.
So let me hit this play real quick. We can check this out. I mean, this is trippy. Like I said, this shit came out in '02. Listen.
If you with me, pop your collar, shake them haters. I'm a Raider, Oakland Raider, from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Cause I'm a player, boss player. And if you with me, pop your collar, shake them haters.
And that's why I'm Oakland, because check it out. If you with me, pop your collar, shake them haters. And like in Oakland, and that's the vibe. I think the whole vibe is just different. And in Vegas, it was cool. Like I said, they played Mac Dre over the intercom, and that was nice. They had Nelly at halftime, Santana doing the national anthem on his guitar, and it was dope. It was a really good show. But the energy of the Bay was missing. Mm-hmm. It truly was. And I know people ain't from Cali. If you're from Cali, you totally get what I'm saying, especially if you're from the Bay Area. But there's this energy. It's like, it's a feel-good energy. And when you're in the Bay Area, you feel it, and everyone else feels it. And it's like, it's hard to explain. But it makes you want to smile. It makes you want to dance. It makes you want to smoke weed. It makes you want to throw on, local music. It's an energy. And that whole energy
It makes
would
your
just
5-year-old daughter want to say the word bitch.
bro, when we would go to Raider games in Oakland, motherfuckers would be like 5, 6 cars deep, bro, with those tents covering, cooking carne asada and beans and rice. It'd be buffet style. And we'd be walking by fucking smoking blunts and be like, hey, if you share the mota, you can make a plate. And dude, before you know, we're kicking it. We're drinking Modelo's, eating their food, they're smoking our weed, and it's working out. And we'd never met before that day.
And
And
now you're
like
homies, you know?
well, now we're kicking it, and I can't tell you how many times that happened, or how many cool shirts or beanies I bought in the parking lot. And you make friends and shit, and you start to know your fellow season ticket holders, and because you see them fucking 8 times a year. It was just a different energy in Oakland, and I think a lot of that's Bay Area. But I'm a Raider either way. We're in Vegas. The stadium's dope. Let's rock. What do you do?
You know what? Man, there was a couple of things I wanted to get to that we're not going to get to today, but
Why not?
this one's just a quick little thought, real quick, and just to kind of shift gears.
That hoe over there.
They were, yeah. Cavino and Rich were talking about, and they've talked about this a handful of times. I mean, what haven't they talked about in like 18 years, right?
Right.
Well, they were talking about tying music to memories and tying
Okay.
like, oh, this song, like I remember Rich said that he broke up with the girl and he heard when he like left her house, he heard like the Bare Naked Ladies or something, you know? You know, some corny like 90s band where they were like I'm sorry if I think it's kind of funny when you're mad. I'm the kind of guy that laughs at a funeral. You know, one of those songs. Well, now every time Rich hears that, he's like, you know,
Oh, he gets his emotions get all fucking
so yeah, because
butterflies.
and he had said that this song, actually, if I'm not mistaken, it must have been like it was probably like a train song or something like now she's back in the atmosphere, Mars, Jupiter in her hair, or what it was a corny song, right?
All right.
But and it's something that shouldn't have made him like as emotional, but it does because he ties it to this
To his first
memory.
heartbreak.
Well, it's crazy because I kind of had a similar thought about this before they talked about it, which that's a very common sentiment, right?
Right.
But the thing that I wanted to ask you is that the other day I was in the backyard and we just got rid of this washer, right? And we got a new washer and dryer. So
Okay.
I had moved this washer to the backyard, and in like a millisecond, you know how like you can have like floods of like thoughts come into your head in like half a second, right?
Right.
And you're like, oh, I'm over here, I'm driving, and then blah 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 blah, blah, and it all happened in like half a second. Have you ever had like a feeling where if you didn't know any better, you would have thought it was like a certain time or certain year or certain when I it was so weird. And this happens more than once, but
Bro, this
or it's
this sounds like a
happened.
question I should be blazing at.
Well, because I had it was so weird. I had moved the washer, and in like a millisecond, I started feeling like when I was younger working this job that I had. And
Okay.
it was so I had like emotions come back,
Really?
and I started thinking about like a chick that I was into at the
Did you
time,
tear
and
up?
I started thinking about like my dad because my dad was still around at the time. Not that
Oh,
he
that's
left
tough.
us, but he died. But it's not
Oh,
like he went to go get cigarettes, never came back. But no, but I had all of this stuff come back in like a millisecond, thinking about like me and like my buddy Luis and another good friend
shout
of
out
mine,
Louise.
Lindsay. Like me, Luis, Lindsay, my homie Johnny. We used to like we were all like really good friends. We used to kick it and around that time. And it's so weird that in this half a second, I thought about all this stuff and had all these feelings and like boom, it hit me like I just got shot. Has that ever happened to you?
I mean, you've had moments, right?
Yeah, but this was like we all have moments where you think about something or you think about you see a 92 Camaro drive by, right? And you're like, "Oh, I used to have a
No,
Camaro." And
but I
then
mean,
you
what level though? Like, what level we talking?
Well, I'm just asking, has it ever been that crazy to where, like, in my mind, it it, it happened so quickly, and all this stuff, all these feelings, all these memories, all these emotions, boom, in like half a second, and almost as quickly. I kind of feel like it would be like a DMT experience, right? People
I,
that say that when you do DMT, that almost as quickly as this stuff floods into you, it leaves. And I
yeah,
kind of feel like that's how it happened. It was boom in a matter of like a half a second. I felt all this stuff. I was having flashbacks, boom, 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 boom. And then boom, it's gone, like almost instantly.
I can't say that's happened.
Yeah, dog. That's how I know I'm a nutcase.
But I want to eat some shrooms, and so hopefully when I do, that'll happen. I can, I want to
Oh,
kind of.
but
I do want to eat some shrooms though, bro. I do want to eat some mushrooms. I've been reading a lot about it and the medicinal value and what it provides as far as, just unlocking your mind and not worrying about bullshit. I do.
mm,
Would you do that?
mushrooms?
A little bit. Just do you believe in the medicinal value and would you do it to try to
Yeah, where people talk about microdosing and
yeah,
stuff.
or not even that, or
100%.
even just take a little bit just to trip, but not to really get crazy or have to call fucking nueve uno. But just enough to just kind of relax and kind of trip a little bit and kind of like detach.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I think I'm gonna have to do it here in the new fruit you. I'm gonna be like Dickie on gummies, but
I'm not.
fucking
I see. Look at. I'm not a big drug guy,
me
right?
neither, bro.
Obviously,
Me
like,
neither. Trust me.
but I'm think like when it comes to things that are more natural,
I don't put nothing up my nose or
I'm
my butt.
well, see, I'm less opposed to
A butt?
mushrooms, weed, things like that, things that are more natural. I dig, you know.
Yes, me too.
So to me, like, dog, like you never know if you're getting like a pill off of some random.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't know what the hell is in there.
no,
You
I'm
don't
not
know
into
if it's
that bullshit.
fentanyl, right? If you're getting coke, you don't know how many times that shit's been cut. You don't know what they threw in there to make this to stretch this shit. You don't know, right? There's so many things, but and I know,
Bro, motherfuckers put Ajax in that shit.
but see, and the thing is, I know that they can mess with shrooms and they could mess with weed and they could mess, right?
Unless you
The
got the connect.
but the thing is, I feel like
But you know what, bro? Let me interrupt because in both of those things that you just said, with it being legal in Denver, legal in Oakland, I know there's a bunch of people in Fresno that I know that are fucking with shrooms. Like at the end of the day, those things are so widespread right now. It is not hard to get a direct connect to the grower.
mhm.
It's
No, and
not. You
that's the
don't have to
thing
get
is
your
that
shit cut.
And that's the thing is that if you're getting coke, right? And that shit is coming from straight Colombia, right?
Bro,
And
if
it
they're
flew through the
check it
cartels
out.
in
If
Mexico.
if they're not still wrapped in the plastic, wrapped in fucking plastic, dunked in fucking fabric softener,
Mhm.
rewrapped in plastic, taped in packaging tape, dunked in fucking fabric softener,
Wrapped in
rewrapped in
duct tape.
plastic, and rewrapped in fucking tape. And when you get them, you don't have to hit the X and fold them out. You didn't get it from the source.
Yeah. And even then I'd be a little
Well,
questionable.
yeah, because then you
It's
got to
just, you
trust
know,
whatever the fuck they did over there was correct.
yeah. Yeah, it's just but yeah, but to answer your question, no, I'm not opposed to mushrooms. I've never done them, but I'm not opposed to them. Yeah.
I did them as a kid, a lot. I probably ate them 50 times as a kid, but never after the age of 18. And
Yeah.
I kind of, where it kind of concerns me is like, I was a fuck up kid. I was on home studies, paying someone to do my shit for me. And I didn't really have no responsibilities to do nothing. I didn't have nowhere to be at no certain time. I kind of came and go as I went from the house. So I could do it and it could be 5 in the morning and it's no big deal on a Tuesday. And so I didn't have a concern in the world. But once you start paying bills and, it's fucking 6 a.m., you still feel the shit and you got to be at work the next morning. I don't know, bro. I think that's what maybe where my
Well,
concerns
but
lie.
see, that's the thing is that this how I look at it is now you're actually giving that some thought, right? That's what I think that's the responsible thing to do. You're not going to be like, "Hey, I kind of dig them. You know what? I'm going to do them. It's Sunday.
Yum.
They'll probably be out of my system by tomorrow. I'll be good." But you're actually thinking about it. All right. If I got to make sure My next day, I don't have any. I don't got to be at somebody's quinceañera, or I
I
don't,
ain't gotta get my teeth cleaned.
you just know, yeah, definitely. You don't have any important appointments. You don't need, right? You can, and that you can plan it. You're doing it responsibly as an adult. You're not just over here, man, I don't have a job. I got 12 kids. I don't know their baby mamas. I got,
Right.
this and this. No, you're like, hey, I'm a responsible dude. I have a grown kid. I have a good job. I have Chapo. I have my house. Cool. You know
Yep.
what? If I feel like on a Friday night
Eating a
chilling
capper
and
and a stem, I'm good.
you know what? Decide I don't have nothing to do on Saturday or even Sunday. So you know what? What the hell? Let's see what happens. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I don't either. And I'm gonna probably go light and I'm gonna eat like one cap or maybe two caps and a half a stem. I'm gonna keep it light. I'm not gonna eat more than like a gram and a half. Back in the day, I would just eat an eighth, dude. They fuck your ass up.
Doug, I have a ghetto ass song for you real quick. Have you ever heard a have you ever heard a song by the Darkroom Familia called A1 Choncha?
Nope. But I like the title, A1 Choncha.
I gotta let me see if I could share my shit with you real quick. I don't know what reminded me of it right now,
I need some
but
A1 Choncha.
let me see. Open system preferences. The fuck? Dog, my shit's all fucked up ever since I fucking uh never mind, I won't play it. It's gonna take too long and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Uh but you can't hear this, right? Tell me.
No.
Okay, yeah, no, never mind. We'll play it another day. Um but yeah, man, freaking I know just real quick, just some entertainment news. I know that
Entertainment?
there were some things going on that people were thinking Taylor Swift was gonna headline the Super Bowl.
I saw that.
She's not. Do you know who's headlining now? Who actually just confirmed that they're
No, I
headlining?
don't. Who was it?
Rihanna. Or actually
I thought it was after show, but later. But my
the
bad.
way the way she says it, Rihanna.
Rihanna.
So Rihanna actually is going to be headlining the Super Bowl.
Rihanna likes the banana.
So Rihanna is bad.
What? You haven't seen where they're shaming her yet on being pregnant? They're saying they're shaming her thighs right now, bro. I don't think it's fair. I don't
I
like
don't
it.
either. I don't either. I no, she's bad.
But I saw it and they're doing it and it's a thing. And it's kind of fucked
Um,
up.
but yeah, man, I think I'm trying to see technology. Paris Hilton lost her dog.
Ooh,
uh,
the Ray J Kim K.
what about it?
Have you seen what's been going on in the news?
I've heard a little bit, but go ahead, enlighten me before we bounce.
Well, he basically dropped papers and saying Kim was in on it.
And how the mom made him redo it and shit.
Yeah, the mom made him redo it. There's a third tape called Santa Barbara tape, which coincidentally is about 55 minutes from me, right? That's where Oprah and all them broads are at. They're all in there. Oh, I shouldn't say broads. My bad. But that's where a lot of the famous people are in Santa Barb's. I think Meghan and Harry are out there. And but anyways, the third tape, Santa Barbara, and Ray J he had enough, bro. He called him out and said they were all in on it and fucking that her taking the lie detector test in the James Corden show was bullshit. You see that or what?
I didn't even know she took a lie detector on James Corden. Dog, but if you're taking a lie detector test on the James Corden show, come on now. Can people really believe that?
And it said she didn't know nothing about it. And Ray J just came out after that and he's like, fuck that. And because I think his concern was they're making it because I don't know if you remember, but on one of the episodes of the Kardashians on Hulu, on the new platform, she's made reference to something. He could have stuck something up my ass when I was asleep for all I know. And so Ray J took that shit personal, bro. And he's like, that's a violation. My daughter might see that one day. Don't be fucking saying no bullshit like that.
Yeah.
And so I guess that made him fucking publish the shit. What do you think about that, dude?
Yeah, no, I 100% actually I was thinking about that recently. I thought about that and I was like, cause yeah, I've heard a couple of things about it and I was thinking different families have their own thing where to me that is like the weirdest shit of all time. But at the same time, I'm like, so is the mom like, is Kris Jenner being like, well,
she's a weirdo, bro.
Kim's gonna have sex. She's 18, 19, whatever this is made. So
no, bro, that was in like 2008 or 9.
Yes, and she was born in like 80 or 81, right?
Oh, maybe
Something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm guessing. Well, no, she's 40, like 1 or 2
she
or
was in her
something. Yeah.
20s when it happened.
Anyway, well, so she's thinking, all right, she has sex anyways. Let's make this into a thing. But I can't imagine her mom sitting there critiquing the video
No,
like it's a Raiders game, right?
right? No,
Oh, maybe Carr should have freaking not gotten sacked.
he should have took
No,
that on your knees and swallowed the whole thing.
no, but yeah, but to be like, oh, like having Kim there, like, I
He
mean,
didn't moan loud enough.
everybody remembers Ray J, like,
Right. Hey, she
like,
didn't moan loud enough. You need to put a little
yeah.
more
Hey,
moan
you know
into
what?
it, Kimmy.
Let's go with the second video because on that one, when you actually you let your tits come out over your bra and then kind of moves the panties to the side. I know the panties are kind of the same color as your flesh, so it's kind of weird, but uh, like that is the weirdest shit I could ever think of in my whole life. I don't care
I'm
how
with
close
you.
the family is
No,
or
I'm with
how
you, bro.
open the family is about sex.
Well, I mean,
It's one
obviously,
thing to be open about sex with a family, and it's another thing to be sitting here analyzing sex tape of your kid.
well,
What
and
the fuck?
again, no shots fired, but let's not forget that
Fire all the shots.
before Caitlyn, she was Bruce, and she was a part of that family, and she was thick in that family at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So there must, I don't know, dude. It's just, to me, from the outside looking in, I don't know. I'm not going to fire no shots. I've got questions, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and if you guys have any questions for anything, you know where to hit us up. The After Show But Later, After Show BL across all social media. You can leave anything you have in the comments. Let us know how full of shit we were on certain topics. Let us know if you agree, and just kind of get the conversation going right here. Make sure you're watching the video on YouTube, on Facebook. You listen to it. You share it with a friend, and yeah, we just give the support. And there is a couple of shout outs I want to give. I want to give a shout out to a dude named D3PO. He actually sent me a picture, and it was a picture of a dude at the Raider game, and his jersey said Kukui. And he goes, "Hey, bro," he goes, "Is that Kukui?" He was like, "LOL" or whatever. But D3PO, and if you don't know D3PO,
I'm gonna find that Raider fan. I'm gonna snatch his jersey like a chain.
You might see D3PO on online hanging out with the Dudley boys. He likes to kick it with Devon and Bubba Ray, the Dudley boys. So shout out to D3PO. Shout out to JJ Albers, Brent Polson. They liked us on Facebook recently, so we're still inching those numbers up. Our most recent video on Facebook got over 400 views, so it's not Covino and Rich numbers. It's not Joe Rogan numbers, but just for that video on Facebook, and then if you combine all the other platforms, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. So we appreciate all the support.
Yes,
the people, the diehards that hit us up every day. The people that okay, never mind. I'll get into that another time. But yeah, After Show But Later, episode number 147. El Kukui, do you have any parting words for today?
I don't. Shout out to all my peoples. You motherfuckers know who you are. I ain't got time to fucking remember them all. I'm keyed. I've been drinking and smoking this whole episode. So thank you for the support. Love everybody. If you guys want to talk shit in the comments, go for it. I'll fire back. What's up? What's up? What's up? Go Raiders. My shit's on record right now. So after this, I'm going to go watch the game.
After Show But Later. We'll see you guys in episode number 148. Peace.
On the road to the riches, cause it's all about the paper. Now buckle up your seats and prepare for the journey. Let the music ease your soul, grab a spliff and start burning. Relax with us and take a trip to the heavens. And come and spend a day in the 757.